Hello everyone, I'm Zhu Zhu.
These days, a lot of young people are chasing that fair, young, and skinny ideal. But you've always maintained such a healthy physique and carved out a unique, elegant path for yourself in the industry. I'm so curious, for a great beauty like yourself, do you ever experience anxiety about your appearance?
Everyone experiences anxiety about their appearance. I believe the standard of beauty is never singular or fixed. Everyone has their own strengths and unique qualities. That kind of inner aura is probably more important than the placement of your eyes, nose, or mouth.
I've always felt that what we should be managing isn't our bodies, but rather these distorted and warped beauty standards.
Some people naturally have a slightly fuller figure. It's hard for them to get an A4-sized waist. Others are born very thin and may want to look fuller but can't gain weight. It's about accepting yourself, not judging by a single standard.
So women can be anything they want to be. We shouldn't be defined by anyone.
I think for every woman, the lifelong lesson is to love yourself and accept yourself. Sometimes when you're not in a good state, you'll feel tired, you'll feel anxious, and you'll constantly feel a bit lost. I think these things are unavoidable and they should also be accepted.
So as long as we don't use other people's yardsticks to measure ourselves, we can find our own unique charm. In the past, when people mentioned you, Zhu Zhu, they might have thought of a glamorous goddess on screen. But in recent years, you've actually tried many challenging roles. For example, Lan Xinji in The Rebels, who sacrificed herself for her country, and the resilient single mother Masukin in The Bond, and so on. So, in the process of trying these challenging roles, how do you overcome the fear of new things?
I think as an actor, staying in your comfort zone and constantly repeating yourself is the easier thing to do, but it's also the more boring thing to do. I like facing new things. I feel that new things can constantly stimulate my desire to learn, my curiosity, and my ambition. If you're always in a familiar field, just repeating things over and over, you can get lazy. But new things always stimulate you to grow upwards. I think the power of upward growth is a state that everyone should have, no matter their age, whether they're a man or a woman.
So, at 20, 30, and 40 different stages of life, has your definition of beauty changed at all?
Definitely. When I was younger, I might have appeared more outwardly expressive and confident on the surface, but my inner self wasn't that steady or grounded. But after going through the sedimentation of time, I think I've become more relaxed, more at peace. The things I like have returned more to what is genuine and true to myself. I'm more focused on my own inner feelings.
Could you share some of your exclusive beauty tips with everyone?
Sleep, drinking water, exercising, and having a good mood are all very important. Also, you should have your own goal. A goal to strive for.
I've been following your Xiaohongshu recently, and I've seen you share so much of your daily family life. It's so heartwarming. Becoming a mother for any woman is a huge turning point in life. I'd like to know, has this new identity as a mother given you any new understandings about life?
Yes, becoming a mother, for me, it's the greatest gift. Actually, before I got married and had a child, I wasn't someone who particularly yearned for a family and children. I even thought that I might not have them. But after I had her, I found that my perspective on the entire world and my understanding of love completely changed. It was only after having a child that I truly understood what unconditional love is. This kind of love also ignited a lot of strength within me. I feel this strength is incredibly powerful.
After becoming a mother, many women might tend to revolve their lives around their children and their family. But I saw an interview of yours before that really moved me. You said that you didn't want your life to completely become the life of a 2 or 3-year-old baby. You hoped your daughter could participate in your original life. I think that sense of self is really rare and worth learning from.
Yes, I think when women face family and children, there's a natural desire to sacrifice themselves. For example, when you see your child needs something, you feel like you should put your own things aside. I've always been resisting that desire to sacrifice. I hope that while loving my child and being there for my child and family, I can also be true to myself. Because you are also alive, you're also precious, and your parents raised you too. It's not about reducing the love for your child and family, but about not losing yourself in the process.
I've also seen a lot of your social media posts, and I feel you've always had this spirit of not setting limits for yourself. For example, when your acting career was taking off, you suddenly chose to study abroad. And you also curate exhibitions, collect art, and organize secondhand markets, and so on. It feels like Zhu Zhu is constantly challenging herself, constantly injecting new possibilities into her life. Where does this courage to not set limits come from?
I think for me, it comes down to what your life goal is. If your life goal is career success, then you probably wouldn't get married and have children right when your career is starting to take off. If your goal is money, you probably wouldn't choose to stop and go study when you have a lot of work opportunities. But my life goal, I think, is about experience and self-realization. I made these choices for that goal, but I don't feel like I'm sacrificing anything because I'm moving towards my goal.
Constantly experiencing new things in the outside world is also a process of finding yourself. It's like what Yohji Yamamoto said, you can't really be seen. Only when you collide with something and bounce back do you know what you are.
Yes, I've also said before that you have to constantly engage with the outside world, not just struggle with yourself. In the process of finding yourself, looking inward is important, but engaging with the outside world is also important.
If you could say a few words to the women watching who are feeling lost and eager to grow, what would you most want to say?
It's okay to feel lost. We all go through it. Sometimes you think you figured it out, but then you might quickly feel lost again. So first, accept that state. After accepting it, then you can work on self-improvement, learn, engage with the outside world, see the world, and love bravely.